Leaders who are not able to help them at all, but what you are witnessing tonight and what you are participating in tonight is a transfer of the mantle of leadership of Black America to the shoulders of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. He is not before you tonight as some self-sent leader, but he is one that has been sent on his mission by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. As a matter of fact, he has been criticized by people because he has been so reluctant, in fact, to accept his mission. But now that he has accepted his mission and he is working tirelessly day after day after day, he is doing a work in the midst of the people unlike any work that has ever been done since the time of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad among us. And the fact about it is, he is going to take the work and the vision of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to its ultimate peak of perfection and completion. Yes, sir. It is fitting that this Savior's Day in 1989 take place in a city like Washington, D.C., which is not only just a municipality, a city with its own set of policies and problems and leaders and citizens, but it is also the national capital. It is also an international capital where every nation of the earth has a representative or an ambassador in residence here in Washington, D.C. That means that any word that is spoken from this place, it has its effect on the local level. And I would say to the leadership of the city, you are seeing that your constituents, whom you say that you represent, you are seeing them by the droves to come out to recognize and respect Minister Louis Farrakhan. And the question that is in their minds is, where are you? Where are you, Marion Barry? I spoke to you myself, and I told you that when the people see you weak and afraid and bowing down to the Jews, that they hate you. Listen. He's our mayor. And as the representative in the city of Minister Farrakhan, it is my duty to come to the aid to help anybody that has the awesome responsibility of that office. And I told Mayor Barry that if you stood up with Minister Farrakhan and the people saw your strong stand, then you don't have to worry who comes after you, because the people will fight by your side if you would stand up. How can you expect the support of the people if you will not stand today? We're not a scared to death people any longer, but we are a people that has been made ready by the Spirit and the power of God. And so once the people are ready, how dare you come before them weak? That's right. Like a lapdog, licking the heels of the enemy and the persecutor and the oppressor of yourself and your people. The ones that you're seeking to please, they will never support you and back you up, and you will never win their vote. So why not take away with the black people who have supported you consistently through thick and thin, and stand with the leader that is becoming universally recognized, not just in Washington. He's a national leader. That's right. This reminds me of what happened in New York the last time the minister went to New York. And they filled up Madison Square Garden and the Felt Forum, and there was 30 to 40,000 black people trying to smash the doors down to get in and see Minister Farrakhan. They come out by the tens of thousands in Chicago, in Los Angeles, in St. Louis, in Louisiana, in Miami, Florida, all over the country. It's Farrakhan that the people want to see and hear.
Yes, sir. That's right.
We have people here tonight from London, England, followers of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. They said that they came all this way because they had never had a chance to see their leader and teacher. And so they're here from London, England, witnessing for the first time Minister Farrakhan address an audience of this magnitude. Yes. We have representatives from New Zealand, from Ghana, from all over the world. They all accept the leadership of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. In Tanzania or South Africa, it is the voice of Minister Farrakhan that is leading the black struggle against apartheid there.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So when it comes to introducing Minister Farrakhan, there is no better forum than the forum provided by Washington, D.C. I'm not just introducing a man as a local leader to a local group of people, but I'm introducing a man to the entire nation and beyond the boundaries of America and her sovereignty and her power. I also have the great honor and distinction this evening to introduce a man to the world, because the words that he will speak will not only have impact in the local Washington, D.C. community or on the national scene, but his words will be felt and heard and have impact and influence around the globe. So, brothers and sisters, let me say to you that Minister Farrakhan will grant an interview, a press conference tomorrow. All of the press are invited, and he wanted me to convey to you that the public is also invited to that press conference at 11 o'clock at the J.W. Marriott Hotel. You know where that's at. It's right across the street from the mayor's office. 1331 Pennsylvania Avenue, and it will begin promptly at 11:30. So without any further delay, let us stand in honor of a man who has stood for us. Let us lift up our voices. Let us clap like thunder. Let our spirit rise. Let us bring on to the city and to the nation and to the world the leader of the black man and woman around the world, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan.
Thank you. Thank you. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Allah, the one God, creator of all things, revealer of all truth, sender of all prophets, known by many names, and all good names rightfully belong to him. To him alone do I submit and seek refuge. And I thank him for his prophets and the scriptures that they brought, but I am eternally grateful that I was blessed to meet and to be taught by and to be nurtured by a divine leader, teacher, and guide for black people in America and throughout the world, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. I greet all of you, my dear brothers and sisters, with the greeting words of peace in the Arabic language. Assalamu alaikum. Well, after that very rousing introduction, I feel very, very, very small. I'm so honored by the distinguished men and women who are on this dais. So before I begin, I want to say to the Reverend clergy, I'm always happy to see the men and the women of God. Father Stallings, the Reverend Willie Wilson, who has always been around, the Reverend Al Sharpton, Reverend, your name? Brother Quasi, Reverend Quasi Thornell, would you please stand? And the Reverend Smiley, would you please stand? And the ministers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, would you please stand? In fact, what a distinguished dais. We have members of the City Council here with us. Brother Eric Thomas. Harry Thomas. We have Mayor Carl Officer with us from East St. Louis. Mayor Carl Officer. Brother Delbert Bryan, all the way from St. Croix in the Virgin Islands. Dr. Lenora Falani. And all the way from New Zealand, Sid Jackson and his wife, Mrs. Jackson and Moina, would you stand? From New Zealand. Sister Tynetta Muhammad, would you please stand? Sister Amina Rasul Muhammad, instructress of the women in the Nation of Islam. The mother and the father of our recently slain brother in Bensonhurst, Brother Yusuf Hawkins, his mother and father. Brother, would you please, and sister, would you please stand? The wife of Minister Alim, Sister Alima Muhammad, would you please stand? The wife of our great national assistant, Sister Mariam Muhammad, and where's Brother Akbar Muhammad? Come on out here, Brother Akbar. We have our attorney, Lou Myers. My wife is here with me, and of course she's the strength. Other than Allah, she is my greatest helper. Sister Farrakhan, step up here. This is she. We need not look for another. And of course, the brothers that are with me all the time, oh, Brother Akbar Hassan Sharif, he's the first one that introduced me to Islam, Brother Akbar Hassan Sharif. Oh my, there are so many that I'm missing, and I won't get to my speech unless I get to it. But before I go any further, I wanted to call up a sister and her family, Sister Tawana Brother. This is Tawana's mother, Glenda, Tawana's father, Ralph King. All of you know or have heard of the case, and we're not here to discuss it tonight, but suffice it to say, though the press and others would say that our sister made all of this up, it's a shame. When a black woman suffers, she makes it up. When a white woman suffers, get the niggers and hang them. But we are just about at the end of this kind of thing. I would like to offer to Sister Tawana a beautiful name, if she will accept it. Mosque Mariam is named after the most noble woman who ever lived. The woman that is the most noble woman who ever lived, who is chosen above all the women of the world. In the Quran, she's called Maryam, the mother of Jesus, the Messiah. We named our mosque after this noble woman. The mosque was once beautiful. It was defiled. It was desecrated. But God blessed us to find it.
Yeah.
To purchase it again, to cleanse it,
Yes.
to reform it, and to name it. Our sister was defiled by beasts. She is lucky that she is alive. But her defilers and their defilement could not destroy what God has made and set as an example. So I asked my sister if she would accept the name of the most noble of women and strive to live up to that name, to be righteous,
Yeah.
to be decent,
Yes, sir.
to be wise, and later in life to bring forth fruit from her womb
Yeah.
that will be to the world as a Messiah.
Yes, sir.
I asked her if she would take the name Maryam Muhammad. Well, around me is a wonderful staff of men who have pledged their lives to this cause and would give their lives to protect my life. I am very grateful to Allah for these men and these women. Salim Muhammad, Captain William Muhammad,
Yes, sir.
my son Mustafa Farrakhan, Brother Khalid Abdul Muhammad, Brother Rodney, Brother
Speak in the mic, Brother Minister. They can't hear you.
Brother Malik Muhammad, Brother Sadiq Muhammad, Brother Dennis Muhammad, and Brother William Muhammad. And all of the FOI that you see around, all of the MGT that you see around, we have committed our lives to the rise of black people here and all over the world. I thank you, Muslims, for your great help and your great sacrifice. Thank you, Muslims. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad once said he had the best followers of any leader in the country. And I believe that the same is true today. I am honored by the presence of each and every one of you. And now I will get to my subject. And I hope that God will bless me to get it over in a short period of time. It needs your undivided attention. Washington, D.C. has been given the reputation of being the murder capital of the United States of America, and indeed the murder capital of the world. Is this coincidental, or is this a case of the chickens coming home to roost? Washington, D.C., the capital of the greatest, most powerful nation on earth, is now being vexed by a people who were once members of a great black nation, but who have been brought to nothing in this society by their former slave masters and are now being kept as nothing by the cruel hand of the government and their former slave masters' children. Black people have now become a source of vexation of the government, fulfilling the scriptures. It is written in the book of Romans, I will provoke you to jealousy by them that are no people, and by a foolish nation will I anger you. Isn't it fitting and an act of poetic justice that in a city where drugs, death, violence, murder, mayhem, chicanery, deceit, machinations of all kinds on a worldwide level are taking place, that in this city, one of the children of the slaves would come and offer a solution to the city, to the government, to the nation,
Yes, sir.
to stop the killing.
Yes, sir.
Here's a city that has dealt death on nations of the earth.
That's right.
From this very capital.
That's right.
Governments have been overthrown. Kings and rulers have been killed, murdered, assassinated by plots from the CIA, from this capital. From this very capital. United with Britain and the Netherlands, the British East India Company grew the poppy seeds and the poppy plant, the opium plant. In India, then transported the opium into China and made the Chinese opium heads and drew the silver out of China until the Boxer Rebellion and the Chinese stood up and said, never again. But it happened from this capital, from this city.
Yeah.
So now, this that was started here,
Come back.
the trash that America blew up in everybody else's door, is now blowing back at the doorstep of the White House, at the doorstep of the Capitol, where demons plotted the death, the destruction, the murder of nations. Fulfilling the scriptures again.
All right now.
As thou hast done, so shall it be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. Jesus said, God is not mocked, for whatsoever a man shall sow, the same shall he also reap. It's reaping time. Killing did not start with the drug users and drug pushers.
No.
Killing did not start with the gangs. Killing started when we disobeyed divine law and set ourselves up as gods beside God, refusing to travel the well-traveled path of the ancients, but desiring to chart our own course in an effort to negate God's wisdom for his creatures. God has brought your evil back to your own doorstep.
All right now.
So the ones who started all of this are now reaping what they have sown. And so in the door of the Capitol, black folk running amok. Black folk angering the Congress.
Yes, sir.
Black folk angering the president.
Yes.
Black folk who were sold into slavery. Black folk now have made the capital of America the disgrace of America.
Yes, sir.
There's a coldness today among our youth. Our youth today have the reputation of being the most cold and brutal generation that we have ever produced.
That's right.
But this is not only said of black youth, but it is also being spoken of Hispanic youth, Native Americans, and even white youth. This coldness of our youth is the fruit of the tree of rejection, hatred, and bitterness. It is not necessarily a black or white problem, but it is a problem dealing with the whole structure of this society. It is a problem that is in itself a condemnation of the stewardship of every institution that has held sway over human life.
Yeah.
The problem is so grave that the problem condemns religion. It condemns education, politics, and the system of jurisprudence. The problem condemns the home. It condemns a greedy system of economics that has robbed America's children of proper parenting. It condemns